The fall happened as the field of 14 bunched while turning into the home straight. For no obvious reason, a horse fell and two others followed suit, spilling two jockeys onto the course and the third under the running rails. Looking at the action head-on, and the horses involved were Graf Rocky, Sweet Jamal and Just Master, one of the favourites. The jockeys involved were J. Scorse, Pilosh and S. Galloway. All received medical treatment, but luckily none of them was seriously hurt.
The chilling afternoon was not enough to stop several hundred school children, their proud parents and local officials from giving the Governor-General and Lady Stephen a warm Beresfield welcome. It may not have been the most elaborate official opening St Ninian has performed, but to the sporting clubs and spectators who use the Lindsay Memorial Oval, the new grandstand will be a welcome addition to the facilities. The $27,000 pavilion is being used for the first time this season and was donated to the Lindsay Park Trust by coal company R.W. Miller. But for the school children from Beresfield, Thornton, Taro and Woodbury, it was a chance to meet first-hand the Queen's representative and to exchange views on school life in the Hunter and the very important task of being Governor-General. And tonight the Governor-General and Lady Stephen will attend the presentation dinner for the Hunter Valley Wine Show at the Hungerford Hill Wine Village. Tomorrow, St Ninian and Lady Stephen will officially open the Singleton Model and Hobby Display before attending a civic reception at Singleton.
President Bolter's government has come up with the laws which could replace the state of emergency. Anyone arrested under the new Internal Security Amendment Bill can be held for 6 months without trial. As well, the President's Council, an advisory body attached to Parliament, is considering a second law. It would allow areas of unrest to be declared if the government considers extraordinary measures are required to combat unrest. In other world news, President Reagan has been released from hospital after having 2 small polyps removed from his colon. They were found during a routine check almost a year after the President underwent major surgery for colon cancer. And in Britain, the government has banned the movement and slaughter of sheep for 3 weeks along the northwest coast of England and Wales. Radioactive cesium has been detected in newborn lambs following the Chernobyl disaster, which brought low levels of radioactivity across northern Britain.
Northwest coast of England and Wales.
The Gala performance is an annual event staged at the Equestrian Centre and is a forerunner to the horse auction held in July. Riders come from both interstate and around New South Wales to take part in the show, which features classical dressage, show jumping in quadrille, a stallion parade, cutting displays, and even the Ugly Sisters from Cinderella. Trainer Heath Ryan says the performance is good practice for both horse and rider and can be used as preparation for the major equestrian events.
It's designed to keep not just the connoisseur of the horses interested, but also people who are viewing just to be entertained for the evening. It's performed by riders who consider themselves very serious riders. They're all successful competition riders, and most of them would consider themselves artists. Mind you, some of the acts are far from being a serious art.
A success story based on love is the only way to describe the Hunter Region Foster Grandparent Scheme. It's a scheme which unites surrogate grannies with severely handicapped children, and the rewards to both were clearly evident today at Stockton Hospital.
The nicest thing is he recognized me and he jumped all over nearly. And I love him dearly, really. It's like my own child.
83-year-old Kath is one of the 8 original foster grandparents who joined the scheme when it started in April last year. Over a year down the track, no one has dropped out, and there are now 25 foster grandparents visiting Stockton 2 days a week, sharing their time between 2 children each. Nursing staff at the hospital say that clear medical improvements are noticed in the children when they've been adopted by a granny. They become more responsive, and with one-on-one love, they have the chance to develop a personality. This morning, the grandparents and children shared some wheelchair dancing and music therapy. And it was hard to say just who was having the most fun.
Go back the other way now.
Newcastle has the most successful foster grandparent scheme in Australia, but there are still another 600 children in Stockton with varying disabilities, all crying silently for the same kind of love and attention. The foster grandparent scheme of the Hunter region could never hope to fill that need, but Coordinator Dorothy Harrington would like to see another 35 foster grandparents become involved. For Doreen, her only regret is that Kerry Lee was already 16 when she met her. Doreen says she's clearly a bright child, and so much time was wasted during her developing years.
I'm quite sure the grandparent scheme has helped a lot for Kerry Lee. For a little girl that just laid in her bed and smiled at everybody, because she's always had a ready smile. I can't take credit for that, but to see her reaction when you walk into the ward and she almost jumps out of the bed to get up to you.
And the rewards of the scheme are shared equally between foster grandparent and child.
I had time that I wanted to share with somebody, especially a child, and when the opportunity came for coming down to Stockton, I thought, well, that sounds like a marvellous scheme to me, and I look forward in the mornings that I come down here to get up and going and down here.
This is John Church reporting. Tragedy last night for a Butteye couple when their house and personal belongings were totally destroyed by fire. The couple luckily escaped unhurt.
Join Ray Deneen and Anna Manzoni for all the news tonight at 6.
More and more people are living in caravan parks. Although permanent residency is illegal, legislation is expected soon to reverse the situation. With the existing housing shortage, families are now choosing caravan parks as an alternate lifestyle. And it's this change in social patterns which the Hunter Caravan Project team will research. Part of the $300,000 grant from the Bernard Van Leer Foundation has gone to the mobile play gym, which will provide recreational activities for the children living in caravans, similar to the program already available at the CAE. Wendy Schiller, the project's director, says not much is known about the needs of children living permanently in caravan parks, and it's now their job to find out.
We really don't have any research to indicate any trends at all, and that's part of the purpose in getting this money, is that we will be looking at practical programs based on what caravan park residents say they need.
The unit at number 13 Douglas Lane had been under police observation for 2 days. It was believed the premises was being used for drug trafficking. Shortly before 6 this morning, a team from the Special Weapons Squad descended on the house with a search warrant. They forced entry and found 2 men. Police say they also found a ½ kilo of high-quality heroin with a street value of $500,000. One of the men, who police recognised as Brownlow, attempted to escape by climbing through a manhole in the ceiling. He was armed with a sawn-off automatic shotgun. While police called on Brownlow to surrender, he hid behind a hot water storage tank before trying to escape through the roof of the house by smashing his way through tiles. Police say they called on him to surrender again before firing. Detective Constable Bill Henry shot Brownlow 3 times, twice in the left thigh and once in the right foot. Police say a total of 8 shots were fired.
3 shots were fired at him at that stage. Also, there was a number of shots fired by police outside the building as they thought he was making good his escape.
Did Brownlow at any stage return fire?
No.
While Brownlow was brought down from the roof and taken to the Royal Newcastle Hospital, police searched the house and removed weapons from the scene. Nearby residents, confused by the gunfire, emerged from their homes.
I heard a lot of banging noises, and then all of a sudden I heard a lot of shots, gunshots.
Brownlow was on parole in 1982 when he committed an extremely vicious armed robbery. Yesterday he was appealing against the...
At a special bedside court, Brownlow was charged with that escape and with a number of firearm offences. He then underwent surgery and is now under police guard. Brownlow is expected to be shifted to Sydney tomorrow to appear in Parramatta Court next Friday. A second man, 36-year-old Roderick John Ovens, also appeared in Newcastle Court this afternoon on drug charges.
Mr Henderson was in Newcastle yesterday to address a regional meeting of members at the Chamber's headquarters in Newcastle. He told the meeting he was pleased with the decision to reject the productivity-based superannuation claim. The national wage rise, he says, was a reasonable decision under the circumstances, but believes we must stop wage indexation based on the Consumer Price Index.
Well, a lot needs to be done on an economic basis, but I think what we need to get away from in reality is to wipe out the setting of wages by consumer price index adjustments. That is just not going to let us catch up fast enough to get out of the mess.
The meeting was notable for another reason as well, the addition of new members not usually associated with the Chamber. The Coal Association, the Newcastle Permanent Building Society and Hungerford Hill Vineyards have all joined the ranks. Regional Manager Mike Tyler says it's a reflection of the changing face of industry in the Hunter.
It is 1986. Manufacturing industry today doesn't encompass the majority of the workers in the Australian workforce as it used to. We've got to compete out in the open market. I believe we've got to be realistic in facing the future, and of course these organisations are an integral part of our society, particularly when we look at the Hunter region.
The Heister lift truck has been chosen by Namoi Cotton to load and unload its mix of containers from railway transport. The truck uses telescoping container frames to carry the different size containers, and this cuts operating costs. A 13-metre container also allows more cotton bales to be loaded. This leads to efficient storage. The suppliers, Hunter Lift Trucks of Hexham, will be making regular visits to Namoi Cotton to service the huge machine.